Up With Niecey. Hey, beautiful.
This is your safe space to get honest, get elevated, and get into your next level era. Here we talk money, mindset, love, and becoming her. Because leveling up is a lifestyle. Elevate your mind and upgrade your life. This is Glow Up With Niecey, where main character energy meets real life growth. Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Glow Up With Niecey. The affirmation for today is, what's meant for me doesn't require comparison. On this episode, we're going to go deep into jealousy and friends. Because I feel like when it comes to we trying to elevate within our life, within our career, we are going to come across friends that are either jealous or envious. And I want people to know there's two different meanings behind jealousy and envy, but people think they're interchangeable. And I have to bring up my good girl Cardi. She once said this one phrase, nothing like me. We don't even got no comparisons. And literally, that's what people need to understand. When you are part of your life, when you're growing up and living up, you're going to come across friends that are going to be jealous or envious of you because, and you're not going to understand why. It could be the littlest things, and they could be jealous and they could be envious of you. When it comes to jealousy and envy, one is a human emotion and the other one could be harmful. It could be dangerous. It's awful, pretty much. And the way I had to dive deep into what jealousy and what envy mean, jealousy is wanting what someone else has, and envy includes resentment and wanting them to not have it. So I was reading into psychology today, and it said jealousy is a natural emotion. Envy is tied to comparison and insecurity, which leads to obsession. And have you guys seen so many TV shows or so many movies where you see somebody, it's not even jealousy at this point, it's literally envy. And the reason why I say that is because I was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm still currently binge watching it. I'm on season 5. And when it comes to Buffy, her other Slayer, Faith was literally envious of Buffy. And you could literally see the envy. It's because she, even in a season, I think it was season 4, she tried to steal Buffy's entire life. She wanted the mom. She wanted the boyfriend. She wanted the friends. She wanted the watcher. She wanted everything that Buffy had. And she was willing to let Buffy die or get hurt or be locked away just so she could have it. It's to the point that she switched bodies with Buffy, that she wanted everything Buffy had. She was living in the dream. She even slept with Buffy's boyfriend. Like, she was so much in tune with it. It's ridiculous. And I think the reason why she felt like that is because when you're jealous of somebody, it's a natural human emotion. And I feel like many of us, we do have that slight jealousy. And I'm not going to go overboard and say, oh my God, full blown. But we would tend to have that slight jealousy. But envy is something when it comes to you actually resenting the person, you're literally wishing the person harm, and you would rather kill the person or have the person locked away just so you can have the life that they want or the clothes off their back. And that's what's very scary about envy. Now, your girl was on social media for like a week straight, listening to many different stories about people's thoughts on the difference between the two. And a lot of people were having a similar take as me about jealousy can be normal and envy is very dangerous. And I'm not trying to advocate for jealousy, because I don't want you thinking like, oh, she's trying to advocate and how is her whole platform about growing up with Niecey and she's trying to be... No. What I'm basically trying to say is that when it comes to jealousy, we all have some slight jealousy, as I said earlier, but it's something in terms of that you have to work on yourself and to understand your path is not the same as somebody else's path. And when I was like back in my early years of college, like 18, 19, 20, 21. Since we're talking about stepping into our best selves, let me put you on Phi2 glasses, which is FYTOO. They instantly level up your look while you're at work, brunch, or just on Zoom. Plus, you could get 15% off by using my code NIECEYS, NIECEYYS. And also, if you want to get some prescription glasses without breaking the bank, definitely hit up Phi2. I did not drive as yet. I had my permit, but I didn't drive as yet. And I had a friend that had a car she was driving, and I had some slight jealousy towards it because I was like, girl, I want my own car. I want my own license. Like, I want to do all that, X, Y, Z. But I didn't have a stable job because, my parents gave me the luxury of focusing on school. I didn't really have to get a job. Like, I had my first job at Little Caesars, but that was nothing. And the same thing with Burlington. Like, it was nothing. It wasn't until when I got my first corporate job that I got my first car. I really did. And I worked hard for it. And again, that's something that I had to work on internally for myself. I'm not saying that it was right, but I think I used more of that as motivation for myself to get better, if that is what I'm saying. Because you could be jealous of somebody, but it's something that you have to work on to understand that, hey, your path is not the same as somebody else's path. And if you want something in your life, you should work hard for it and advocate for it and grind on getting it. And I think that's what's the issue and what's lacking with many people. They don't want to work hard for it. They just want it. They feel like it should be granted to them. And that's not how life works. That's not how things work. And that's how jealousy turns into envy. That's when you start to resent that person and you start to literally want to wish harm and become obsessed with trying to take everything that person has. Jealous people adore you while envious people compete with you. So again, jealousy people adore you. This was like a so-so for me because I could see exactly what they mean by adore you, because it could be in a sense that they see things that you have and say, damn, like, I want that. Like, how the hell she got that? How that I can understand how you will, but I think that's how you would use that for motivation to get yourself to the level that you want. Because when you're with envy, you're competing with that person. You want everything that person has. And it's like to the point that you literally harm that person. But I could see in a sense how people would view jealousy as admiring somebody, because you're like saying like, damn, like, I admire you. I want what you have. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, as opposed to, envy, they're competing with you. They want everything that you have. It's literally, oh my gosh, back in high school, I had a friend that was like that. And I don't think it was jealousy. I really think it went to envy, and she was competing with me because she, on top of that, she was a pathological liar. And there was an instance that every time when I would go over, like, she'll come over my house, because we used to sleep over each other's house a lot. She'll sleep over my house and she would see something in my house that I have or how my mom decorated, and she would literally go back home and then I'll go sleep over her house, and she would have her mom decorate things exactly like how my mom decorated. And she would do things exactly how I would do it. And it got scary to the point that when she used to like try to come dress like we used to dress alike so much, people started calling us twins. That's scary. And the reason why that's scary is because I'm just thinking of it as normal, like, hey, yeah, you're my girl, da. But she was thinking as a way that she has to be one up of me. She has to be better than me. She has to do things better than me. And it doesn't have to be like that. The way how I see it, if you're my friend, we both eating. One way or another, we both eat and we both grind and we both get the things that we deserve. Their path may be different from my path, but there should be no jealousy there. There should be no envy there, because I'm not competing with you and you're not competing with me. That's my mindset when it comes to having a friend. Like, I want all my friends to win. I want all my friends to eat. And if they were to ever feel some type of jealousy towards me, I'd be like, damn, well, like, why you feel like, come on, like, or envy to compete with me? I'm like, what you doing, girl? Like, we supposed to be bona fide friends. Like, if I'm eating, you eating, like, what's going on? That's how I see it. Like, I'm like, what you doing? Like, me and you are like besties. Like, it shouldn't even be like that. And honestly, unfortunately, it goes back to what I say. Some people, they literally are battling with their own emotions, and that's why I feel like jealousy is a human emotion. It comes natural, and it's people that admire you because they admire the things that you have, and you probably made sacrifices that they didn't even know, and they're like, damn, I want that, or I want to experience that, and they just don't know. And then lastly, another take is not everyone dapping for you is happy for you, and that's true. A lot of people that you think are generally happy for you, friends or family, they really aren't. And there are people that are secretly wishing you bad, and you do not know that. There are friends and family, because trust me, there are some family. I have stories that literally will wish you the worst. They would be there and you're thinking that they're cheering you on, wishing you the best. And the whole time they are plotting on your downfall. The whole time they are secretly waiting for just one thing to happen so they could be like, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. It's sickening for that to even happen. That's why I feel like when it comes to our type of, in today's era, especially how we share a lot of things online, we try to invite more people. I feel like we need to be very careful about who are we inviting. We need to literally be very careful when it comes to friends or when it comes to family, because the worst thing is to have a friend that's jealous of you that turns into envy, because now they want everything in your life. They want to snatch everything away from you, and then they become obsessed with that. And we've seen in a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies how somebody could just be mad at you for the littlest things. You could have a 2-parent household and somebody will be jealous because they don't have that. You could literally have a 1-parent household and somebody will be jealous because they're like, well, my parent is not like that. Like, it's the littlest things that somebody could be jealous with you about, and it's not even necessary. It's uncalled for. It shouldn't even be like that. We have to be very careful when it comes to our friends and our family, because if somebody is jealous, they would make some slick remarks. They'll make certain remarks that you be like you have to take a step back and be like, wait, did she just say that? Like, she dead ass just said that? Like, are you serious right now? And there are friends that I had that would make some remarks, because there was an instance where it was like early teens. Like, I was probably like 18, 19, 20. And at the time now, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life with my parents, but I was able to get myself an iPad. And I'll never forget, this was like the first Apple product. I think this was the second Apple product I ever owned. And I had a friend that made a remark, well, I wish I could buy myself an iPad. You lucky that you have, a parent in your life that will buy things for you. And I was just like, it was certain remarks that I would hear now that I'm older. I didn't know it was like some type of jealous remarks, because the way I see it is that whenever I'm going through things bad in life, like there could be downs I'm experiencing in life, I'm not broadcasting to the world. I'm not going to let the world see the bad what's going on with me, because why would I want my enemy to see me down? I want them to see me doing well. Like, hello? Like, come on now. But I was just like, why would you say that? Like, that's not cool to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm going through something in life, I just don't broadcast it to the world. I don't let people know that. But I was, there's some things that I still deserve. There's some things that I still want to treat myself to, and I don't feel like you should be jealous of that, because I worked hard for this. And there's people just don't know, like, they just think that because you get certain things, it's handed to you. It doesn't work like that. You could work your ass off and work your butt off, and to have somebody that you would think as a certified friend or a family member make a slick remark, that's something you got to keep an eye on. Now, when it comes to somebody that's envious, they start to comparing, they start to try to be you, and that's when it gets harmful. Because as I told you guys, the example I gave with Buffy and Vampire Slayer with Buffy and Faith, you see that. When you see certain TV shows and certain movies, it's like that as well. There's always somebody that is trying to compete with you, to try to be better than you, because they're battling emotions that turned serious. Like, a slight jealousy is fine, but when it becomes serious and envious, that's when it gets scary. That's when you're like, okay, this person is trying to do everything like me. They're trying to be exactly like me. And that's very scary, because if they can make a wish to trade lives with you, they really would. They absolutely would. If they could like clip you off so they could have the life that you are living, they would in a heartbeat. And that's what's scary. Now, I know many people are not going to like this, but Mean Girls is a perfect example when it comes to jealousy that shifts to envy. And it also starts with, remember in Mean Girls when Katie, Katie, she started getting attention. And then Regina started being like, what the hell? And that's when Regina starts to feel threatened, because she said to herself, who are you? You literally just came from South Africa. You were nothing. You were dressed like you were on a safari. And here you come trying to take my crown. Like, what? And that's why it says jealousy is like, I want that too. Envy is like, I don't want you to have it. And that's pretty much how that entire saying goes. It's crazy because you would never think that, but Regina George made some crazy remarks. Because remember that one time when she told that girl, I like your sweater, or I like your skirt? And she was like, yeah, thank you so much. My mom made it. And she was like, oh my God, that's like the ugliest thing ever. And it's like, why would you make some remarks like that? those are slick remarks that she would make. But if you see Regina, you could tell she was battling some things on her own that she needed to work on that would have probably helped her out in the future. And this is why I always feel like some people need to go to therapy. Some people really need to go to therapy and sit down and really sit with their emotions and talk to somebody about what they're feeling and what they're going through. Because if you let a small thing as jealousy linger, that's when it becomes obsession to envy. And that's when it gets scary. Because look at the whole thing with Selena, rest in peace, with that crazed out fan. And that became obsession to murdering her. That's how real envy is. It's so scary. The same thing with rest in peace Pop Smoke. The same thing with Pop Smoke. Just because he accidentally showed his address, somebody came, they wanted to rob him, get everything he got, and they killed him. You're probably wondering, how do you spot somebody that's jealous or envy? And you know, your girl did her research. So I went on Harvard Business Review, and here are the little things that you could spot somebody being jealous, envy of you. They make backhanded compliments. They copy, but they don't support. They minimize your success and they act distant when you win. And they're always comparing lives. The backhanded compliments, they've got to stop. Like, I'll hear a lot of dark-skinned women say, oh my God, I'm tired of hearing you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Or a lot of plus-side women that will hear, oh my God, you're pretty for a plus size. Because what does that mean? That sounds so backhanded. It's like you are literally complimenting them, but you're also putting them down. And why are you doing that? Because that's unnecessary. Like, that has got to stop. And they copy you, but they don't support you. How many people that you see will literally copy everything that you do, everything that you wear, but they won't support you? How many people will say, oh my gosh, she started her own business, I'm gonna start my own business, and she better support me, but they're not gonna support you? Or they'll minimize your success. You will say, oh my gosh, I just graduated, and they'll get mad because they ain't graduate. Like, it's just certain things like that you're saying to yourself, why are you doing that? And then whenever you're winning, whenever you're in a great relationship, you are prospering in life, you got a promotion at your job, you got your dream car, you got your dream house, etc., they start to distance themselves from you, because that's when you're saying to yourself in turn, like, how the hell she got that? How the hell she don't deserve that. That should be mine. I should have that. And they start to move away from you when you're winning. And lastly, have you ever had people that start comparing their lives to you? They have to have one up with you with everything. That reminds me of the show, the movie on Netflix. Oh my God, what's the movie called? It's a Christmas movie that had the guy that played Elena from, is it Victorious? I forgot what the movie is called. Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. So this is a holiday movie, and it was the same instance where the brother, it was too Asian because the stepmom was white. It was a hilarious movie on Netflix. Like, I watch like almost every year. And it was basically, you could see the younger brother, he was the one that he basically catfished this girl. She came from LA. And the older brother had to have one up with him with everything. And that was unnecessary and called for, because come on, you guys are siblings. Why do you have to have one up of each other? It's not that serious. So literally when the brother announced that his girlfriend is pregnant, here comes him proposing to the girl that he catfished. Like, it was this whole thing. And I was just like, it doesn't have to be like that. It really doesn't. Like, you don't have to compete with somebody. But honestly, some people really have to compete and compare their lives, because they have to tell you, say, hey, I'm doing better than you. You're not doing better than me. And this is all some things that you will notice in Mean Girls. And Mean Girls really showed us early, not everyone smiling at you is rooting for you. Oh my gosh. Not everyone smiling at you is rooting for you. Not everyone smiling at you is rooting for you. And that's something that we had to learn at an early age. And that's why I'm so thankful for Mean Girls. Now, you're probably saying, okay, so I spotted other people, but here's how to spot if you have these traits, because I think many of you guys do not know that you guys have some of these hating ass traits, and you think it's not hating, but it is hating ass traits. Be real with yourself. We all felt it before. If you notice yourself having some form of jealousy, if you know it's starting to go to obsession, that's something that you need to start working on yourself with. You need to be real with yourself and acknowledge that, because some of you guys do not acknowledge that you guys are some hating ass people. You guys don't acknowledge that because you guys are not thinking that, and you guys need to acknowledge that more. Because if you guys don't know, being a hating ass person could block your growth, make you bitter instead of better, and distract you from your path. And if you continue to have them hating ass traits, you're not going to accomplish the things you want in life. And as much as we think, oh my gosh, it's unfair that this person, no, okay, use that as motivation. I always feel like that you have to use certain things as motivation. And it's just something that I want to explain to you guys. I have watched a lot of movies. I've watched a lot of TV shows. I've listened to music. I have read a lot of books. And sometimes some of these things about how jealousy turns to envy, turns to obsession, is something that could have been worked on like in the very beginning when somebody clocked it. If you clock your own jealousy, that's what you need to work on. You over here hating on somebody because they lost weight. Why can't you take your ass up and lose weight? You over here hating on somebody because their makeup is on point. Why can't you take your hating ass and learn how to do that? You hating on somebody because they have long hair. Why can't you take the time to love your hair and focus on that? You hating on somebody for getting attention. Why can't you take your hating ass and work on yourself? Once you sit down and you actually find ways to elevate yourself instead of being a hater, you'll be prosperous in life. Remember, I shared a story about how my friend talked about how, oh, you must be lucky to get an iPad because your parents got it for you, X, Y, and Z. That's a hater. She should have checked herself and clocked herself and said, you know what? Oh my gosh, she got an iPad. Let me work hard towards that for myself. It's not my fault. Like, you can't get mad at somebody for something that they have and you don't know how hard they work for it. You can't, you have to be real with yourself in that sense to know. And when I'm on social media and I'm on TikTok, you can literally hear some people that actually clock their jealousy instantly and use it for motivation, as to some people that clock that jealousy that turns into obsession and envy because they didn't clock that situation. Since you find out you a hating ass person, you need to focus on your shift. This is how you're going to shift yourself from being a hater to somebody that is using that as motivation. Focus on your own lane. I say this all the time. We have to stop comparing ourselves to other, because we don't know what the other person is doing. I have read so many stories and seen so many incidents where somebody will be jealous of somebody and then come to find out that specific person is literally scamming their way, harming people to get money, to be flashy. And you're jealous of that for what? Or there's instances where some people were like seriously worked hard for the things that they have. They probably worked 100 jobs just to save up to buy themselves a car, to buy themselves a house, just to have savings, to go on a vacation, something. And you don't know what that person sacrificed to get where they are. You just don't know. So that's why you got to turn your hating ass ways into more as a motivation and focus on your own lane. You need to have that whole mindset shift and focus on yourself. Again, like I said, turn your jealousy into inspiration. If you see, oh my gosh, she lost 100 pounds or he lost 100 pounds, why don't you sit yourself down and say, you know what? I could lose that too. I like that she did that. I'm going to use that as motivation. Or you see your favorite YouTuber and you're like, damn, like I've been doing the YouTube the same year as she, and how is it that she's more prosperous than me? Use it as motivation and inspiration that say, hey, she did it, I could do it too. Or you see somebody bought a Chanel bag. You don't know how hard they saved and worked hard for it. You don't know if their job goes based off commission and they worked their ass off for commission and they bought themselves one thing. You could use it as motivation for yourself that, hey, you know what? I'm going to save this money out of my paycheck every week so I could buy myself a Chanel bag for myself. You have to think of things like that. You have to use that jealousy that you're experiencing and turn that into some type of inspiration to be better in life. And lastly, distance yourself from envy in others and within. So if you know you are a hating ass person, you need to start distancing yourself to focus on yourself internally. You need to start understanding, why do you feel that way and what you can do to help you overcome that. Because jealousy, envy is a disease. Because when you have that slight jealousy and you don't heal that, That's when it gets serious, and that's when you get harmful, and that's when you get very dangerous, and that's something that you absolutely have to work on. So if you see something and sense something that's causing your jealousy and that's turning into obsession, envy, get out of control, that's when you need to take yourself away from that situation and work on yourself. Because I kid you not, when you work on yourself, it's going to be only up from there. It's going to be so much better from there for you. And that's why I feel like it's very important sometimes. And I'm not trying to get all religious on you all, but that's what sometimes you need to sit down, read your Bible. I have to throw in this one Bible verse. It's from Proverbs chapter 14, verse 30. A heart at peace gives life, but envy rots the bone. Learn how to internally love yourself and your accomplishments and the things that you worked hard for, so you don't have jealousy come and knock that down. Don't create nothing into something bigger that would infect you, because it's like a disease. When you start getting jealous, you start getting jealous at the littlest things and you don't even notice it. And that's something that you have to work on internally, especially because if it affects your friendship and it affects your relationship and it affects your relationship with your partner or with your family and friends, that's when it's something that's serious that you need to work on internally. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Glow Up With Niecey, and stay tuned for more episodes. Toodles!
Thanks for tuning into Glow Up with Niecey. If today's episode spoke to you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a Glow Up bestie. Want more behind the scenes and real life glow up content? Come hang with me on YouTube at Niecey's World. And if you haven't already, grab a copy of my book, Niecey's Glow Up Blueprint. It's your guide to becoming your best self. You can find it linked right here in the show notes. Until next time, keep glowing, keep growing, and never stop becoming her.